Griffin the Griffin by BlackWing. Chapter 14. Letters. As the convoy of freed Pegasi, Earth ponies, unicorns, and royal guards reached the squad of army ponies headed towards the dog warren, they bowed, seeing Princess Luna leading the troop. Having attacked the royal family was a serious crime, and since the dogs had taken slaves within equestrian borders, the princess herself went into action. Blueblood was riding with them, showing the group where he had been attacked. Guard, what is the meaning of this? Why are you here? We, along with two others who were taken, and several other slaves, were released by the diamond dogs who had taken us captive. The guard answered. Care to elaborate? Luna said in her old equestrian lingo. The griffin, sir, and the unicorn. They fought and slew over 25 diamond dogs. The warren had a total of 60, with 10 surviving fighters and 25 non-combatant members still underground. He reported. And they fell, rescuing you? The Moon Princess asked. No, ma'am. After having their numbers decimated, they surrendered. The self-proclaimed Griffin pirates offered leniency, sparing their lives in return for the release of all the slaves, as well as a fairly large number of gems and some chemical weapons that the dogs used. The leaders accepted the terms and, by his advice, abandoned their den. They are most likely headed back to Gem Fido, collapsing the tunnel as they go. They were afraid of the leader, Griffin the Griffin, who the dogs claimed was some kind of devil bird and whispered about a prophecy. Griffin pirates? Equestria has not known pirates for over 400 years, the last of them being captured and imprisoned by my sister during my banishment. Piracy is a very serious crime, Luna said with a scowl.
Ah, yes, you are Prince Blueblood, I presume?
The elderly stallion asked. Why, yes, I am, he replied.
A guild of the Griffin pirates told us that you would take care of us. Something about she was calling your debt on them, she asked.
You are indebted to a band of pirates? Luna asked in a nervous prince. Well, I had not known them to be pirates at the time. In fact, it sounds like something they just made up on the fly, but yes. Their group offered assistance in repairing the broken cart, which we declined. Upon being attacked by the diamond dogs, they defended us and cut a path through them for the two of my servants to escape. Then the Griffin hen, Gilda, flew me all the way to Stalliongrad and dropped me off. Then headed back to help in the fight. Apparently they had a run-in at the city on our criminals. Here are the wanted posters. The prince passed the papers to Luna. Trixie Lula Moon, Unicorn. Gilda Oro, Griffin, unknown, Griffin. You said that his name was Griffin? Griffin the Griffin, that's rather ironic. Total bounty 220 bits? That's not very much. We should make haste to the place of battle. You four, take the prince and his cart to the carriage back to the city. I wish to see the location of the fight for myself. Princess, Griffin also wanted us to deliver these letters to you and your sister, to be open and private in the presence of both of you. He claimed they contained extremely important information. The Pegasus carrying the letters said. The princess took them and tucked them away in her cart before they continued. Those are two griffins heading to the jungle? Luna said as she looked into the distance, spotting the pair. We must be close. As they arrived at the scene, they saw over 25 bamboo crosses, each with a piece of clothing, armor, or weapon resting on it, and a small mound of freshly dug dirt in front. Graves, Luna said quizzically, her hoof touching the earth that had been stained red and recalling it immediately. I must know what happened here. She closed her eyes, casting a spell to relive the past 12 hours at the area in high speed. After it was done, her eyes opened in shock and horror. While she wouldn't be able to hear the voices, she could see everything that had occurred, and it wasn't pretty. She felt weak, partly from having to cast a spell allowing her to see across the expanse of time, but mostly from the grisly sight she had witnessed. Watching the attack, the impromptu defense by the trio, and then the slaughter. How did he know? It's like he knew they were coming. Like he knew how they were fighting. He was calm and came up with a sound plan and then became a madman when he fought. He taunted them, drove them crazy with fear. No wonder they thought he was an evil spirit. The look in his eye. While they may have committed crimes, these dogs were living in Equestria. There was no need for such wanton death. He's dangerous. He needs to be captured at all costs. He is too far away by now for us to catch him. I need to get back to Canterlot and show Sister what I have seen, as well as these letters. The rest of you, head back to Stalliongrad for some well-deserved rest. He killed them all mercilessly, And while they did attack him first, afterwards he drew them to him on purpose so he could wipe them out. He showed absolute disdain for their kind, yet he showed them mercy, and took the two dog slaves with him of their own free will. He buried the dead when the dogs left them and their fallen family members to rot in the sun. He shows respect for the dead and an understanding for the value of life, but he'll completely disregard those traits when it suits him, casually butchering his enemies and laughing at their faces. What kind of life creates some pony like him? Maybe the letter will give some insights. Why, hello, sister. How was your trip? Celestia asked. It was eventful, Luna replied, casting a spell to share her memories. Celestia was horrified at what had happened, but at the same time relieved that the prince, as well as her precious ponies, were safe. They've started calling themselves the Griffin Pirates, but it's strange. Rather than raiding or pillaging, they instead simply do whatever they feel like, helping or hurting based on a whim, or whatever they need. The reason they decided to rescue the prince was not because they were helping a fellow equestrian, but because they wanted to spite his potential kidnappers. Their motives are completely unknown. Perhaps these letters will provide some insight in who they are and what they want. I was told they were extremely important and highly classified, only to be opened with the two of us present. I wonder what they could be, Luna asked. Well, there's only one way to find out. Let's open them. It's not often I get mail from some pony other than Twilight. It seems the first is addressed to me. Dear Princess Luna, is the moon made of cheese? Sincerely, Griffin. What kind of nonsense is that? Well, at one point, some pony looked at the moon. He saw it was full of craters, making it full of holes like Swiss cheese. Many a children's story contained either you or myself taking a bite out of it. As for why this is important and highly classified, I have no clue, Celestia explained. Oh, here's one for you, sister, Luna said as she magically passed her the next letter. All right. Dear Princess Celestia, what is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow? Sincerely, Griffin. Is he going to do nothing but taunt us with ridiculous questions? He didn't even specify whether it was an equestrian or a zebrakin swallow. The swallows of the Zebra Isles fly slower than their land-bound cousins because they need to conserve their strength for the flight over the water. How do you know so much about swallows, sister? Luna asked. A ruler needs to know these kind of things. All right, next letter. One for you, Luna. Dear Princess Luna, how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Sincerely, Griffin. What is a woodchuck, and why wouldst it throw lumber? And why does he desire to know the quantity of lumber which it would be capable of making airborne? This is confusing, yet comical as well. Never mind. Next letter, Luna said, starting to slip into ye old speak, something she did only when she was disturbed by something. Dear Princess Celestia, when is a door not a door? Sincerely, Griffin. Now he has taken to riddles? When is a door not a door? That's a paradox. If it is not a door anymore, then it is not a door. How can it be a door and not a door at the same time? You said that the leader of the Griffin pirates, who mercilessly slaughtered 25 diamond dog slavers, wrote these letters? It was as if he was born specifically with the sole purpose of vexing us. This is nonsense. We should just throw all these letters into the fireplace, the Sun Princess exclaimed. What if one of them really does have important information, or perhaps there's a code hidden within the passages, some messages hidden within the messages? He specifically instructed the courier not to open them, and that they were for our eyes only, and we both had to be present at the opening. There must be a reason. Writing in this manner could very well be a security measure he devised. Judging by his look, he seemed to be a mastermind balanced with a berserker at the same time. We don't have a choice. We have to read them, Luna theorized. And you know what? If we do read them, and they're pointless, then we've just fallen for his little prank. But if we don't read them and they're important, then we are fools. You are correct, sister, and they are rather humorous. A nice contrast from the constant reports, manuscripts, files, and endless stacks of paperwork that get dumped on us, Celestia replied. Dear Princess Celestia, how do ponies hold things when they don't have fingers? Sincerely, Griffin. They read the next one together. Luna looked at her sister. Don't look at me, I've always used magic. So wait, we are the rulers of Equestria, and neither of us know how Pegasi and Earth ponies pick things up with their hooves? The younger asked. Shouldn't this be common knowledge? How can we not know that? The elder exclaimed. Celestia took out a scroll, inkwell, and quill, transcribing the letter. My dear faithful student Twilight, how do ponies hold things when they have no fingers? Sincerely, Princess Celestia. Sister, what are you... Luna was cut off. There, that's taken care of. It's not like I can ask the Scientific Institute. I'd be a laughingstock. Next letter, she proclaimed, eager to change the subject from their lack of knowledge on what should be a basic topic. Dear Princess Luna, how do magnets work? Sincerely, Griffin. The Sun and Moon Princess looked at each other for a moment, carefully looking at the letter over and over, realizing they had no knowledge on that subject either. Ask Twilight? Luna suggested. Ask Twilight, Celestia answered, taking out another scroll. Dear Griffin, the moon is made of stone. Specify the type of swallow. A door is always a door, even if it's ajar. We refuse to answer the final two questions, because that information is integral to equestrian life and should not be given to pirates. What are you planning? What are your motives? What is your goal? Sincerely, Princess Luna and Celestia. Celestia cast a spell to make the scroll find whoever it was addressed to, causing Griffin to belch up the letter. Did you just breathe fire? Gilda asked. I have no freaking idea. I saw Twilight's little dragon Spike do that once when Celestia sent him a letter. Maybe it's because I ate dragon meat or something? I was genuinely confused. I don't know. Nothing you do makes sense, Trixie retorted, looking at the scroll on the ground. Well, gonna open it? Opening the letter, reading it out loud, we all rolled over, laughing at our current camp. The fact that the princesses tried to pass how ponies pick things up as well as how magnets work as classified meant that they didn't know. The fact that Celestia asked what type of swallow was particularly hilarious to me, to which I replied, it's a human joke, and for some reason she actually got it. We had set it up in the trees, mending several of them, cutting off pieces of others, making a bona fide treehouse. Of course, we'd have to lift Trixie and the dogs up to it, but at this point, I was used to having her ride on my back. Strangely, I didn't mind being ridden by a pony, something my kind is used to riding. It actually felt right, for some reason. Gilda, however, did mind and lifted the dogs by the scruff of their necks. Since we're high up, we don't have to worry about getting attacked by something from below. And we know for a fact that these new bloods aren't going to bugger off or gut us, since they'd have no way down other than to fall to their deaths. There are definitely benefits to being the only ones with wings. And you were the one to figure out how to use them to the best advantage. You really aren't a griffin, are you? Trixie asked. And she finally gets it. I'm an alien disguise. Yes, you heard me right, Mutz. Alien, as in from a different world. I'm from a completely different universe. My old body was actually a lot like you two, except no hair, no muzzle, no tail, different ears, and no claws or fangs. That's how I knew how to fight them. The pair of dogs looked at me confused, but they didn't dare laugh. Mostly because they were afraid of me. They just stared, and I looked back at them, sticking out my tongue and pulling my one eyelid down with my claw.
Whatever. Not our place to judge,
they stated. Seriously, are you a fool or something? You're acting awfully childish, Trixie said. Only young at heart. When you're miserable all the time, you either let it get to you or you cope with it. This is how I cope with it. Honestly, he's like that lame pony Pinkie Pie. Only reason I'm sticking with him is because he saved my feathers, and I've seen what he can do when he's not acting like a fool. That and you think I'm hot? I smiled stupidly, getting slugged in the side of the head. I just got back up, laughing. She only hurts the one she likes, Trixie laughed. Gilda just blushed. The dogs were confused.
So wait, is she leader now?
Nope, it's still me.
But she beat you.
Yeah, but neither of us were trying. She kicks my butt in sparring all the time. Time for bow training! And so, Griff set about teaching Gilda and the two diamond dogs archery. The dogs, being bipedal, were much better suited to it, although Gilda picked up on it quite easily. Holding an arrow and string in her beak, then bringing her right arm forward to draw the bow instead of pulling her head back. Having such good eyesight meant that she could hit targets at a long range, while the dogs could not shoot as far, but could do more so often. Trixie practiced casting illusions on the dogs, making them fight each other, cower in fear, become peaceful, or walk into walls. They were too impressed with it, but they figured they'd have to put up with some crap being the newbies. And it was better than being a slave. For archery, several targets were painted on various trees surrounding the camp. After exhausting their ammo supply, the Griffin pair would retrieve the arrows, letting them try again. Finally, after gathering some bananas and other tropical fruits from the surrounding trees, also much easier for the flyers, they had dinner and fell asleep in the hammocks woven from the jungle vines. The wanted posters showing who had claimed each. Wanted, alive, Griffin Pirates, total bounty 580 bits. Gilda the Griffin, 200 bits. Trixie the Unicorn, 120 bits. Griffin the Griffin, 260 bits. Last known location, Equestria Jungle border.